Our next story takes us to Clonkeen, near Killarney in County Kerry, where one woman's hectic lifestyle led her to discover a world of aromatherapy, reflexology and all things organic. And now, with her husband Klaus, she produces natural cosmetics using organic ingredients. Maria Malarkey went along to visit Geraldine and Klaus and to have a look at their flourishing business.
Well, before I moved to Killarney, I was a fashion designer. I worked in Germany, Indonesia and finally in Dublin, where I was working as a kidswear designer. But it was really, really stressful. It was, you know, I had to go to New York and Paris twice a year, and there was deadlines, constant deadlines, so I was constantly going, and I was a bit of a workaholic, you know, because after studying for 4 years, you think this is what I have to do. So yeah, it got very, very stressful. I ended up getting very burnt out and spent a lot of time just recuperating in bed and looking after myself. And then finally I discovered Reiki. And when I went for my first session of Reiki with my Reiki master, I just found it was fantastic. It really just sort of made me re-look at life even after the first session, and I could feel myself getting better with each session.
Following this introduction to alternative therapies, Geraldine decided to do various courses in Dublin, studying massage, Reiki, reflexology and aromatherapy.
So after I'd learned how to do aromatherapy, I was looking for a base cream that was natural, because I'd started to learn a bit about how bad it was to be using the sort of petroleum-based creams. And I couldn't actually find a base that was affordable, so I started to look into making my own. I went to Germany, which is, they're very big into the natural cosmetics over there, and it was a lot of trial and error, you know. I was trying to come up with a really good cream, but eventually I got there. First it was just like a face cream and a body lotion. Then I started to bring in different things. I noticed there was some people who couldn't take essential oils even, their skin were so sensitive. So I came up with specific creams for very sensitive skin. And then I noticed there was people with dermatitis, so I came up with a cream that was particularly, you know, for healing and soothing dermatitis. I also did a body scrub, lip balms, and then we do bath salts with the flowers that we grow in the garden. And I also do a foot lotion. I make all the products myself from scratch. It's a bit like making something like a mayonnaise. So you have all the waxes, oils, fats in one pot, and then you have water and an emulsifier in another pot. And when you heat both of them up, you mix them quite slowly until they get to the right consistency. Then we allow it to cool down. That's probably the most time consuming, is that just you allowing it to cool down. And at the right temperature, then you add active ingredients like vitamin E, and then you allow it to cool down another little bit until it's the right temperature to add the essential oils that go at the very end. Our organic ingredients we get from Germany, and all our essential oils and flower waters are actually fairly traded by a company in Germany. And then we also try and source a lot of our ingredients locally. So our beeswax is from a local beekeeper, and the flowers that are in our products are actually grown here organically in our garden. Because I get quite busy sometimes, you know, my husband Klaus would help me out. He'd help with like potting the creams, and during the summer he'd do quite a lot of the farmers markets. He also does the deliveries around the county to the different health shops. So it's quite good to have that, you know, that help and support when I get really busy.
6 years on, Flourish Cosmetics is a thriving business and now has 9 different organic products in their range.
I love making the products myself. There's something very satisfying about starting with all these kind of raw ingredients that are natural and organic, and then coming up with a product that's just really luxurious and nourishing to the skin. Since I moved to Killarney 10 years ago, my life is completely different. You know, it's gone from just flying around the place and being completely stressed out with deadlines to a very sort of slow, simple kind of life. You know, it's very satisfying getting up in the morning and just stepping across to the outbuildings and producing a product that I'm really, really proud of actually. And I suppose as well then doing the treatments and getting feedback from people on how their, you know, their health and their well-being has improved. It's just very, very satisfying. So myself and Klaus are very, very happy here. You know, we wouldn't change our life for anything.
That story from County Kerry about organic cosmetics brings our programme to a close for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed our stories all about inner and outer well-being. And if you'd like any further information on any of the items we covered this evening, you'll find it on the Nationwide website, and the address is on your screens now. Ba midar asliv an luan, agus godishan on the hainior of werin I wahagwif, agus godeshiv slán.